This is Grunt Squad. Join Sam Mann and Blake Farver in an adrenaline-packed sports podcast where they dive into the world of sports betting, dissect fantasy strategies, and break down the latest current events in the sports realm.
Welcome in to the Grunt Squad.
Grunt Squad!
Yeah.
Live.
Facebook Live. Welcome one
Grunt
and all.
Squad live.
Happy holidays, man. Yeah, I
Happy
see you.
holidays.
You finally brought a
Festive
sweater
today.
out.
If you can't read it on the live stream, and for those of you that are only listening, I just want you all to know your mom believes in Santa.
Oh my goodness! I told you I saw that. I was like, I have to get me one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, you filthy animal.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
I got another one. We'll bring it out next week.
Do you?
Yeah.
I feel like this one still stuck to me though from the last time I wore it.
No, you never took it off.
No, it's been on the entire
You just
time.
put a shirt over last
Yeah, it's no problem. You know, that's what you got to do. You got to, as the weather gets cooler, you have to layer. That's a thing. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't know what that is because we live in Florida. But anyway, down that rabbit trail we go. Let's talk some football. What a freaking week, Zach.
Yes, welcome.
What up, my dude?
How's it going, man?
Hey, hop on in. Tell us what you think
Yes.
about the topics we're going to be bringing up today.
We'll do our absolute best to
Yes.
respond to your comments.
We're gonna be as diligent as we can be
Yes.
while we're live. But let's talk Bills Cowboys. And you had a rant last week, and boy, I got one for you this week.
Yeah, let's hear it. I want to hear it right off the bat. Let's get
Out
let's
the
get
gate?
right. Yeah, out the gate.
Okay.
Let's go.
All right. Listen. Listen. And I'm looking at all. As I just hit myself.
Oh.
Anyway, all I have to say is that I feel sorry for Cowboys fans.
Oh, please.
I just and look, I finally I've seen it before, you know, like I've watched. This isn't the first Cowboys game I've seen, but here we are. You had all this momentum. One of the most elite offenses, one of the best quarterback runs that we've seen in a while. Mr. Efficiency, Mr. Take care of the ball, no problem, dude. They couldn't get anything going offensively and defensively. The Buffalo Bills didn't even have to pass the ball. Josh Allen could have sat on the bench.
Yeah, really.
And it is extremely frustrating to see a team this good because they are one of the best teams. But to see a team this good and look this bad, it's like where's the nearest bridge because I'm ready to jump off. Like that's how it made me feel. And so anyway, the tirade's over. Dak, you let us down, and this is why we hold our breath for the Cowboys.
Yeah.
This is why. Because when push comes to shove, when they play teams that are good, more times than not, they fall flat on their face. Exhibit A.
Yeah.
What say you?
I mean, so here's the thing. I think that,
Pitiful.
Yeah, it was bad.
Pitiful. Sorry. I'm just I'm fired up. Sorry.
He's fired up today. It was me last week. This week it's Sam.
Good.
So here's the issue that we continue to see. They have a problem not playing at home. So they have a problem playing in other stadiums that are not their, Cowboy Stadium. Like 7-0 at home this year. What are they now? 3-4 on the road, I think. The numbers are very, very different home and away. I think that they average like 100 yards less of total offense on the road compared to home.
Hey, Tiffany. Good to see you.
Yeah.
Thanks for hopping on.
Their yards per play efficiency goes significantly down. I think like two yards less a play on the road. I think that they average it was somewhere between 7 to 10 points less on the road than at home. They just have a problem playing in other stadiums, and I think that unfortunately for them.
What up, Chris? Good to see you, buddy.
Sam the Man.
Yeah, that's close.
He was
Trent and the
probably
Hizzle.
doing-
What up, dog?
I imagine he was saying it the way that I just said it. But
Yeah.
anyway,
Go ahead.
I think that the Cowboys have really, really hurt themselves with this specific loss going forward. because of everything that's going to need to happen for their playoff implications going forward. They have to win their division if they want to make a deep run based on what we've seen from them.
Which is going to be tough.
Because if they don't win their division, then they're going to have to play on the road. Essentially, if things go the way that we think they're going to go and the way that they really should, they're going to have to play on the road every game in the playoffs. So, which I think if that happens, they're not going to make a very deep run. And it's going to be a really tough sledding for them to win their division going forward because of their schedule compared to Philadelphia's schedule.
Agreed. They're going to have to win out, and then even still, they may still come up short, even if that happens.
They have 2 games on the road, and one of them is against Washington, which, okay, here's the deal. Washington, not very good, but we don't know what to think of the Cowboys when they're on the road. So anything goes there.
They're at Miami.
Next week. That's going to be a tough one for them.
But let's say they go unscathed. They somehow find a W there. Then it's Detroit at home. So, and we all know that's like, look at how they played this past week.
That's right.
I mean, they can be, again, one of the best teams in the league.
Detroit?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so inconsistent. I don't know. There's no predicting what they're going to do. Like, their defense played lights out, and their offense was like Goff looked like an MVP candidate in that game. But you don't know what you're going to get next week. You don't know what you got the last few games before that. It was bad.
Agreed.
Like, not just not good.
What's up, Jay? Anthony, Cassie, Lee, Darius. What up, guys?
Darius, my dog.
That's it.
Yeah, they're just very inconsistent, but they're fighting for stuff too. They're fighting for a number 1 seed.
They are.
They possibly could get that first round bye that they're going to be going up against the Niners for.
They're a favorite to do so. They play Minnesota this week and again in week 18. So, I mean, even if they lose to Dallas, that's still 2-1. That puts them right up there.
Right.
Still have 30. We had 30 teams going into this week, still in contention for the playoffs. It's wild.
One in the NFC, only one team. In the NFC the AFC is what I was talking about earlier. One team has locked up a playoff spot. Anywhere between 2 to 13 still is alive. Now a couple of those are not realistic, like the Chargers. There's no shot. But to go back really quick and to finish on the whole Cowboys point here, fighting against Philly for that division. Philly's schedule is very, very easy the rest of the way. They have 2 home games. They play They got the Giants, the Cardinals, and the Giants the rest of the way.
Correct.
That's.
So let's assume they go 3-0. It doesn't matter.
Well, I believe that they own the tiebreaker as of right now. They have to win tonight.
Right.
If they win tonight, then they are in sole control of that division, and then they're in the driver's seat. Everything is based on what they do, and those are three easier games to end the season. Look, the Eagles have had a very tough schedule this year. Very tough. They're very tested. So that's what makes me think like, okay, they've had their fair share of issues, but they're still a very good team, and they've been battle tested. So they may make a deep run because of that.
Frank, Steven, what up? Good to see y'all.
What I think is going to be difficult if the Eagles do win the division and the Cowboys get the 5 seed, they're going to be on the road in the first round. And as of right now, they're going to be playing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in Tampa. And
let me tell you, buddy. Woo!
It's a good transition into talking about the Bucs now. That's what we wanted to talk about next. Frankie, Sam DeClam.
Yeah, Sam DeClam. Yeah,
I've never heard that one.
Yeah, it's a one-of-a-kind thing. It's a long story.
I like it.
Do you, though?
Yeah.
It's original.
It's just new.
It's original.
I've never heard it, so it's got to be.
Good to see you, buddy. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Bucs, Green Bay. I tell you, Baker. Baker looks so good.
Baker Mayfield.
Bump.
Dude.
Let's go. Dude, he looks so good.
QB2 this week, right? That's
4. QB4.
Oh, okay.
I mean, top 5. I mean, are you kidding me? And got everyone involved. Godwin, we all know what this guy can do when he's healthy. I was telling you this morning. I mean, we all know, like, the guy's got all the talent in the world.
He's healthy, yeah.
Correct. He's one of the best.
So, two things. One, Baker Mayfield is playing himself into a contract, a long-term contract.
Let's go.
With the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He's playing his way into it. He's not turning the ball over. He's making, some of those throws that he was threading the needle.
Unbelievable.
He looked elite yesterday.
Well, we know he's not scared to throw the ball down the field. 22 for 28, 381, 4 touchdowns. The guy looked great.
I like him.
He looked great.
And he brings a fire to the team, man.
Yeah.
He's not afraid to take in the past, Baker Mayfield has bothered me, but since he's gotten to Tampa Bay, I have a completely different perspective of him because he has been near perfect at the mic at the podium in press conferences. He handles everything to the T the way that you should handle it.
Well, he was humbled.
He was. And so he's just been grateful. He's been taking the blame when they lose, and he's been giving credit away when they win. And that's what you got to do in this league.
It's great leadership.
It's great leadership, and he'll get the team fired up. He makes a mistake, he'll come back, and he'll lower his head on a run and, take on a hit, and he'll get up all fired up and get the team going. Man, that team is behind him. I'm telling you right now.
No doubt. Andrew, Frank, what's up, guys?
Second thing real quick that I wanted to say about going forward with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Chris Godwin and the decisions that they're going to have to make going forward. Because the discussion has been, do you keep Chris Godwin or do you keep Mike Evans? And before this last week, Bucs fans were leaning more towards keeping Mike Evans because he's just so consistent. But Godwin's got youth on his side, and if he can stay healthy, man, we can see what he's capable of doing. So it's like one of those things. Which one do you keep?
I mean, Mike doesn't want to leave. And I think, if I'm part of the ownership crew, it's a very, very tough decision. I think you lean towards Mike.
You're going to have to make a decision though at the end of the year.
And he deserves to be paid.
I don't think both receivers come back to this team next year.
I don't think so either. Yeah.
I think that you got to, because Godwin was tagged. So we got to, we got to decide here, the Bucs, excuse me, not we, but I'm a Bucs fan, so I say we, but anyway. Yeah. They got to decide, do they keep Mike Evans, because how much more does he really have left in the tank? Because he's not super young anymore.
I think he's 30.
So he's only got maybe, a few more really good years, or not even really good, just good years left in him when you have a lot of upside with Chris Godwin, and he can be your number one.
No doubt, but I think at the end of the day, he doesn't want to go. And I think if they find some sort of middle ground, there could be, it's unlikely, but I think there could be an opportunity where you could keep both. Okay. But that'd be Mike having to give up some money. That's the only way that it would work. But let's talk about the truest MVP on this team, which has been Rachaad White.
It's crazy.
I mean, he has played out of his mind.
RB4
in fantasy, yeah.
Overall, not just this week. Overall in fantasy,
yeah, he's unbelievable, and his pass catching ability is really what separates him. I know that you brought up the comp.
He's a young Alvin Kamara, in my opinion. I think that he has that type of upside.
That's high praise.
It is, but a lot of it is because of the receiving prowess that you see from him, the ability to catch the ball. The running game thing, it's not his fault. His offensive line is terrible at run blocking, but you see spurts of it when he does get a hole, the burst, the explosion that he has.
Yeah, he's got juice for sure.
But he can get in open space, and you see what he can do in open space with the ball, and he's got great hands. So, cool story. I mean, a lot of upside coming into the season before the season started, then started off really, really poor, and then has just really picked it up going forward. And this, I don't want to get ahead of myself here.
Feels like you are, but I'm ready.
I don't want to go too crazy because look, we all know Baker Mayfield's not Tom Brady. No one's ever going to be Tom Brady. Okay.
Carl Lee, good to see you guys. Thanks for coming.
But this is kind of the type of season that Tampa Bay was having in that Super Bowl run. They were around
Super Bowl.
Listen, listen to what I have to say.
Here we go.
They got banged up early, and they were around 500 around this time, and then they ripped off five wins to finish the regular season. just like they're doing right now. They've got 2 wins in a row. They have 3 games left. Their schedule gets a little easier going forward, easier than what it's been so far this season. I know that they have the Panthers again. They have the Saints, and I believe that they already played the Falcons twice.
I don't have their schedule in
They
front
have
of me.
Jacksonville.
It is Jackson. You're right.
I think it's this week.
But the Saints game is New Year's Eve.
I think they have Jacksonville, New Orleans, and they finish with Carolina. The way that Jacksonville has been playing lately, I wouldn't just. It's not a foregone conclusion that they're just going to. That Jacksonville is just going to go into Tampa and beat them.
And I think what you said several weeks ago is 100% on point, and I'm giving you credit for saying it, which is. Well, that Jacksonville is still a year away, and they need to add another dynamic piece.
Yeah.
And also, Trevor Lawrence needs to take care of the freaking ball.
Oh my gosh, it drives me nuts. I text you right away watching that game, and it's just like the most untimely turnovers for him. And there's no excuse for that one. It's just ball security. Nobody hit him. He just literally quite literally fumbled the ball out of his hands. It wasn't a forced fumble. He just dropped the ball while trying to slide. How do you do that?
You can't. You can't give gimmies in the NFL.
It's just crazy.
You lose the turnover battle. That's how you lose games.
Right.
It's that simple.
So I don't know. I think that Tampa, there's a path there. Now they're gonna have to run into juggernauts like San Francisco, Philadelphia,
Dallas,
who that they would have to. But
that's the most likely scenario, by the way.
They're playing them at home, and Dallas is on the road. You don't know. And Tampa Bay is starting to click now. Their offense is starting to get. Dave Canales is starting to get going, the OC for Tampa Bay, and they're starting to find a good little rhythm here. They put up a lot of points these last few weeks.
They have.
And Levante David just came back defensively for them, so that's their captain and their leader on defense.
Huge.
So they're starting to get – everybody's starting to get healthy. They're starting to get going at the right time. So I think that there's I'm not saying they're going to win the Super Bowl. I'm not coming out and saying that. I'm just saying there's some similarities between the year that they made the Super Bowl, the most recent Super Bowl run that they made, and the way things are starting to shape up with them.
No doubt. Mike and Braxton, thanks for coming in and watching us. The flip side of this coin and on this game was Green Bay. And just when you thought they were starting to build some momentum.
Yeah, it made me look dumb.
Jordan Love, but he's been inconsistent too. You've seen games where he's looked super elite. He's good on the ground, and then you've got games like this where he's just inefficient in third and fourth down.
Well, he actually had a pretty good game overall. Like if you're looking at his numbers, his game was pretty good for the most part, but they just didn't convert when they needed to, on fourth down especially.
Right.
But his third down efficiency, I think I saw a stat while watching the game, like 8+ yards. He was like 8 of 11, which is crazy. And then anything 7 or less, he was like, I can't remember the exact stat, but it was showing that he was actually not having a bad game, just not getting it done when they needed it most.
Right, which is, it's what
the
you got to
name of
have.
the game.
You got to be clutch.
And we've seen that. We've seen that go on in the NFL this year as a whole. Like we've seen a lot of it. When you can't convert in the red zone, or you can't convert and turn possessions into points, it really comes back to bite you.
Yeah. Frank's saying that Baker can't hold the ball as long as he doesn't against either Philly, Dallas, San Fran. That's absolutely the truth.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that going forward with the teams that they're playing, that's part of why he's been able to be as good as he's been. But I'm not going to say anything about Dallas right now until they show me what that they can win and perform well on the road. I'm going to take Dallas out of that equation because they didn't really do anything against Buffalo yesterday. That made me think, oh man, we got to get the ball out quick, or we got to do this, that, or like we need to. That teams need to do something specific.
One of the best rush defenses in the league, and they got absolutely smoked.
Obliterated. Didn't he have like 179 rushing yards?
179, 1 touchdown, had 42 through the air, and a receiving touchdown as well. Yeah, Josh Allen 7 for 15. When has he ever had 15 attempts in a game?
No.
Usually it's 15 attempts in a quarter.
Yeah. Now,
Unreal.
weather played a little factor, small factor, weather a little bit, but for the most part, it's because that they were so successful on the ground, they didn't have to.
Right.
They didn't have to do it. Well, you know why? If it's not broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
Like,
no doubt.
It was
no
working.
doubt. Well, let's transition into now how a few weeks ago we were talking about playoff implications, and now that we've seen a week that's kind of shifted some things and about how we feel about certain teams. We've already talked about a couple of them. How do you feel about your bracket up to this point?
Not great. There's a few teams that I'm going to have to recant on.
Okay.
Jacksonville's not getting the 1 seed, but they're doing what I said that they would do just earlier than I expected them to do it. I said they were going to make a first or they wouldn't even win a playoff game, but they would get the 1 seed, they would get the bye, so it would be technically a second round loss. But I thought that they would get through this portion of the schedule and be able to work their way in. Some teams would lose here and there to get themselves up there, but that's not going to happen at this point. It's going to be either Baltimore or Miami at this point, I think.
Yeah, I think it's – and the way Baltimore looked last night, and we talked about this just like Trevor. Lamar also has issues with taking care of the football.
Got to take care of the ball.
If he does, we're talking about a team that could go the distance.
Could, if he takes care of the ball and they convert in the red zone. That's been a problem. Teams cannot continue to settle for field goals anymore. You've got to score touchdowns when you get that deep. Now, field goals of 30 from the 30-yard line to about the 40-yard line, anywhere in between there, or for some teams a little deeper.
Baltimore being one of them.
That's okay. Yes, yeah, that's okay because you're converting a possession into points that you probably were not as successful on that you either should have been or just were hoping to be. But when you're inside the 20, you got to score touchdowns, man.
For sure. And I think losing Keaton Mitchell, again, that was
ugly. Did you see it?
It was really, really bad.
It was ugly.
It was really, really bad. I genuinely felt like
his leg was not supposed to go that way.
No, body's not supposed to go that way. Kenny, Alex, thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
Talking about playoff implications.
What about you? Teams that you want to?
So it's funny. Miami looked really, really good, even without Tyreek. They got the job done and got it done without him. So it just shows that they still can perform at an elite level without their number one guy. That being said, I'm still second guessing on them making it all the way to the Super Bowl. And I know Zach. Sorry, I know you're going to hate me for saying that, but I re-look at kind of what I said in my thought process. And I don't think, even though their defense has been better, I still don't think it's going to be good enough.
Didn't they shut the Jets out this week?
They did. Jets have a really good offense too, don't they?
Yeah, but they do actually have the number one defense.
They do. They do.
Pass defense.
But they wore them out. And so when you're
from the get-go.
I understand, but I'm saying when you've got your defense that's out there the entire time, all the time, 24/7, you're going to wear them down even more. So I mean, I'm saying that only helped them out.
Yeah, I'm not on the same wavelength with you on that. Couple reasons why. One, I think that the AFC is just so wide open. There's no head and shoulders team in that division. So I think that the Dolphins. It's really anybody's division to win, and they're so explosive on offense. And I like Mike McDaniel, and their defense is playing better. I'm still okay personally with that side of it for me.
I can still see the path. I'm saying I'm wavering.
So who would you replace?
Oh man,
Baltimore.
Jeez.
You seem high on Baltimore.
Based on last night, I am.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, they got to take care of the ball, and they got to convert.
And I like their defense more than I like Miami's defense. Now, a team that I would completely remove would be Pitt.
Yeah,
which
they're
is-
gone. Yeah,
which is-
that's another one that I would.
and that's
I'm
one
gonna
I'd,
go
I'd
back
be
on that one too.
take that one
They're
out.
so bad.
And it'll be interesting to see Stroud with Houston coming back from the concussion, how he responds to this.
Big win without him this week.
Huge, huge, and that still it keeps them right in the mix.
Yep, they're the 8th seed right now, and Buffalo the 9. And if if Buffalo can sneak in there, they're dangerous. I really think that they are. I think that they're starting to get it together defensively, and they're figuring out ever since they fired Ken Dorsey, the offensive coordinator. They're starting to find a rhythm, find something that's working for them.
George, what up, buddy? Thanks for coming on.
Another one that I am going to go back on is Atlanta.
Yeah, I tell you, man, they
Well, especially the way that Tampa Bay is playing. They looked horrible, and the Panthers really helped both the Saints and the Bucks out this week with that.
let's go.
But I will say, it has more to do with the way that Tampa is playing right now than it does how bad Atlanta is, and they're bad.
And let me tell you something. Can't forget about the Saints. They're still in this thing too.
Yeah, mathematically, I mean,
Carr had his best game this past week, and you know how much I
Yeah.
freaking hate Carr.
yeah, he
And I'm
was
a Saints
efficient.
fan.
He was efficient.
Super efficient.
He never. At least with the Saints, he's not really a guy that racks up a whole lot of yards. But
He was great on third down.
23 of 28, I believe.
Yeah.
And they beat the Giants. I mean,
Yeah, but they beat the guy, the Italiano, the Davito.
Yeah.
Did you see when every time they sacked him, they looked to the camera, they're like,
Did they?
get you some of this.
Well,
Do you want
that's
some?
what happens when you start doing that.
I've got some Italiano food for you.
Oh, yeah.
No? You didn't like it?
You are you
buddy.
Mobster Christmas?
Well, I've been called worse.
Okay.
So.
You need to get like a.
How's the sweater feeling, by the way?
I'm fine. This is thin. That's thick.
Yeah, this is this is
And
combining.
it's chillier outside.
I'm combining with the previous time that I wore this. We're cooking up something over here.
So yeah, I think that I'm still okay with both my Super Bowl picks. I'm good with those. I'm still good with the Eagles winning the division, getting the 2 seed.
So those of you that missed a couple of weeks ago, we predicted both Miami and the 49ers getting to the Super Bowl and 49ers winning. That's what we both came to that conclusion.
Yeah.
And I hate agreeing with them, but we agreed on this one.
Yeah, but now you're saying Baltimore instead of Miami.
I haven't made my mind up yet. I'm saying that I'm wavering. I'm not making the switch yet. I might make the switch.
All right.
I'm making the switch.
Okay.
You gave me the look. Fine. You want me to commit? I'll commit.
Okay.
Miami out, Baltimore in. There you go.
Yeah, until Miami plays Dallas this week and beats them by 2 touchdowns, and you're gonna be like, forget what I said. I'm going back to Miami.
It's okay. I just like the temperature, it wavers. You know.
Oh dear. Yeah. All right. I see how this is gonna go.
Yeah. Well, I mean, listen. Like you got to go and look. We take this on a week at a time, and just as teams that you thought were completely out are now in there.
True.
And vice versa. So that's
Hey,
the
so
nature
far-
of the league.
So far, you're right on the Bucks. You're right
Yeah.
on the Bucks, and I'm jumping on that one with you.
The bandwagon.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think that the AFC is going to be very fun to watch these next few weeks. Who would have thought because going into the year, we thought before Aaron Rodgers got hurt, the AFC East was going to have 3 playoff teams, the Dolphins, the Bills, and the Jets. As of right now, they have one team that is in the playoffs, and that's the Dolphins. And on the other side of the coin, the AFC South, we thought that they would only get a division winner, and right now they have 3 teams that are
Competing.
right there.
Yeah.
They're tied 8-6, a 3-way tie atop the AFC South, and all 3 could make the playoffs still. You got the Colts, the Texans, and you got the Jaguars.
Colts are looking good too, man.
It's crazy.
Your boy Minshew.
Yeah,
Come on.
I'm telling you,
He's doing it.
starting quarterback should be in the
But
league.
the whole Pittman going down is
That was an ugly injury, and it
Yeah.
was a dirty play. Hate it.
yeah,
Hate it.
huge. That's a huge loss.
Yeah.
Like I mean that's
We'll see how long he's actually out. Some people pass that the concussion protocol quickly. But this one, I fear is going to be a multiple week one.
Yeah, I mean, I hope not for their sake because they definitely need him.
Sure.
Alex, Dolphins will make it to the Super Bowl. Go Fins.
I like it.
I mean, well, that's who we both predicted. I'm making the switch, but to be altered later.
This week it'll be someone different.
Yeah, that's the spirit. Frank and Kyle, thank you guys for hopping on. Did want to give a shout out to Wicked Pecker Off Road for sponsoring today's podcast. And also, if you're a small business and you're looking to support another small business,
yes,
and you want to come on and be a potential sponsorship, shoot us a DM. Most of you on here, you've got my number. This is going on my personal page, but moving forward, like within the next couple of weeks, it's going to actually go on our Grunt Squad Facebook page. So if you haven't done so already, please go in and follow. As soon as this is done, I'm going to put all the links to all of our socials down in the comments so everybody has access to those. Also, we're on Patreon, so if you're feeling a little bit generous and you want to help, all that directly supports this podcast so that we can continue to do this week in and week out. We absolutely love it. We love being on here. We love you guys, and we freaking love football.
Yes, we do.
Let's go. Yeah. So until next time, guys, thank you so much. Merry Christmas. Hope you guys have...
Check the socials, all of them.
Yes, a fun, safe holiday. And until next time, we'll see y'all next week.
Yeah, we won't see you until after Christmas.
It's true.
Oh, I didn't even realize that. That's crazy. Merry Christmas.
Merry Chrysler.
Yeah, there you go. Now you're on the same wavelength.
I'm getting there.
See you guys.
Have a good day, y'all. Thank you.